Introduction. I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up. Is it normal to be saying that age 38? Sat in the kitchen, inviting myself to take part in the conversation of my stepdaughter and her best friend. Two influential 21-year-olds talking about their future prospects now their studies are coming to an end, a job interview is up for grabs, and real life is on the cards. That was me, March 2020, heavily pregnant, watching our just-turned 2-year-old grandson Harley running around with our 8-year-old daughter Amelia, nursery and school both closed. Trying to fathom out what this pandemic was all about, thinking, what kind of world is our son going to be brought into? Lockdown life pending, little did we know just how crazy it would become. With too much time on my hands waiting for our new arrival, I started to think about the future, what life will be like when my maternity pay stops. How will I work? I can't do the same as before. But then Freddie arrived and distracted my thoughts. We all had to stay home to save lives, so that's what we did. A house bustling with 5 adults, the hubby Heath and I, the grown-up children of Heath and his first wife Leslie, so their daughter Emma, son Joe, plus his spouse Demi, the 2 little kids, a newborn and our dog Grace. In my new baby bubble, I put all worries of the future safely into a little box at the back of my mind. If only I could have thrown away the key. As the months started to pass, it was almost like that well-known board game, Think Jumanji, was starting to rumble, playing a sound in my mind, reminding me this was something I couldn't avoid. I was going to have to face a new way of life and make some decisions. Going back to not knowing what I want to do when I grow up, it's a genuine feeling I've always had and never really been able to shake off. That feeling of not really being fulfilled. I wouldn't say I was unhappy, as I've loved the majority of my jobs and I'm so grateful for all that we have. But something was missing. And I found myself wondering many a time if there's something more out there and whether I'm destined for bigger things. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf said, if your dreams don't scare you, they aren't big enough. I thought I had dreams or goals, but realistically, I never have. Nothing hard-hitting where I'm striving towards a massive achievement. Don't get me wrong, I've achieved loads and I'm really proud of all I've accomplished in my life to date. But what is the end goal? Where do I see myself when I'm on my deathbed? What should I have accomplished by this time in my life? Perhaps I was always too scared to think about it, in denial maybe. Or it could be that I thought I was too young to even need to think of the legacy I want to leave behind. Even in my high school careers meetings, I was unsure. An air hostess, a teacher, an interpreter, I couldn't decide. And it frustrated me how so many of my friends seemed so clear, yet I was keeping my options open. Fast forward 20 years and still no decision made. Back in the days when I worked in financial services, I perhaps got close to teaching, being in the learning and development space. I remember being on a personal development course, one of many, since I've a thirst for knowledge. Addicted, maybe, she says, rolling her eyes. When they posed the question, what do you want to be remembered for? I knew straight away that I wanted to be known as a person who made a difference, because that made me feel good, but I just didn't know how. Was this the start of me realising I needed to find my path? Perhaps. At that time, I thought my path was paved out. Happy in the corporate world, in a well-established company with a secure job. But of course, our circumstances change. And sometimes a light flashes along a different trajectory, catches our eye and screams out at us like a beacon to come this way. Or perhaps we find the decision taken out of our hands and we're getting driven along down the wrong direction, either in silence or kicking and screaming, but not being heard. Life is a roller coaster, don't you agree? I used to be petrified of them, roller coasters, until my bestie Nisha dragged me onto a ride in Busch Gardens. Holding my hand so tight, she told me to keep my eyes open if I trusted her. Of course I do, with my whole heart. So I did it, and it felt freaking amazing. Fear gone, boom, just like that. Something that had stopped me enjoying things in life for such a long time was now no longer an issue. And all it took was a quick decision and leap of faith. Magic. Plus, it was a good job, really, since 6 months from that date, I had a tandem skydive planned, which was, of course, to raise money for charity, Youth Federation, but also to help me conquer my fear of heights. However, on the day of the jump, since I'd already fixed that fear, I decided to not go for the originally planned 16,000 foot drop. and instead pay the extra 20 quid and go from 20,000 feet. It's pointless paying for the videographer if you're going for the standard jump, said the instructor. Fine then, let's do it. Reflecting on this experience maybe helps prove to me that I actually do push myself at times and can make spur-of-the-moment decisions and take ownership for a situation, but it's taken a while to get there. Being willing to step out of the comfort zone can be a step towards finding something that excites you or lights you up. But how far out of that space are we willing to go? And what is it that holds us back? Things change, circumstances change, we change. It's all about how we adapt to these changes that determines the outcome. In part, it's choice, it's mindset, self-belief. Actually, it's definitely all of the above and a bit more. Sometimes it comes down to skills and ability too, which means we have to develop ourselves. So let's think of the here and now. At the end of the day, if you're reading this, feeling a bit lost or flat and unsure where life is taking you, and you actually want to be holding those reins and be clear on your destination, then high five, sister. I've been in your shoes up until very recently. I found myself getting sick of just thinking about doing things and actually wanted to start doing them. And that is why I put pen to paper. I've been there, felt like that, and I'm doing this. I'm making things happen. So what even does OMG Fabulous mean? Well, I hope that as you work through this book, you'll figure out what OMG Fabulous means for you. This isn't one specific feeling that can be written on paper with a clear definition. Instead, it's that feeling where you experience that OMG moment and you realise what it is that lights you up inside. It makes your heart feel full and it makes you want to do more of that thing. And if you want things to change, you're going to have to dig deep. The severity of the change may be minuscule, but enough to make you feel fulfilled, and that's fab. But there is a chance that you may be in for a total overhaul depending on what you uncover about your innermost desires. It's going to take some self-discovery, and perhaps you'll go as far as finding your vision and purpose. Then once it comes to you, you've got to hatch a plan to make it happen. Don't let it go to waste. Otherwise, you will always wonder, what if? And you know I'm right. One of the mantras I live by, and you'll see all over my socials, is hashtag sharing is caring. And in more recent times, hashtag just do it. Thank you, Nike. Why not share what we feel passionate about in order to help others? And why not just do it? Try new things, give it a go. What is the worst that can happen? And now we come back to the part of me wanting to be known as the person who made a difference. Let me be that person for you. Think of this short book as a chat with a pal. No judgment, no lecturing, just some handy hints on what you can start to explore if you're feeling in a place of uncertainty about your future. Like I said, that's where I was. I've been through this. Becoming a self-development junkie, I've realised that a lot of the books and sources relay the same underlying messages, just in varying ways, and some resonate better than others. I hope the things I highlight will land well and perhaps spark an OMG moment. My wish for you is that you can take something practical away to kickstart the action needed to take you to where you want to be. You're going to be given some questions at the end of each chapter, which are designed to help you reflect on your journey so far and to start to put some plans in place for the future. There is no right or wrong way to do this. If journaling is new to you, I hope this will be an introduction that encourages you to continue getting noise out of your head onto paper. It's such a popular way to record our thoughts and feelings, not even necessarily to ever be revisited. Sometimes it makes way for new ideas, increased creativity, or helps us cope with stress and anxiety. The benefits listed are vast, and without a doubt, it allows us to connect to ourselves at a deeper level. There was no question, I just had to include tasks as part of this journey. So please give it a go to get the most out of it. Grab a pen and let it flow. Look out for the reflection time at the end of each chapter, or download the workbook if it's easier. You may get to the end and realise you're happy just as you are, and if so, that's great. At least you'll be confident in making a decision to do nothing, because that's what it comes down to in the end, a decision. We all have the power to choose the life we want to live. We're all individual and we are placed on this planet for a reason. Let's explore your purpose together. We're only here once. Make it count. As author Kyle Gray said in his book, Raise Your Vibration, the fact you are here is a gift in itself, and anything you bring with you is a bonus.